everybody. Sorry about that video a while ago. We ran into technical difficulty and I did not realize it until after the broadcast was over and we didn't have any audio. And we were discussing the great weed controversy that's going on all over social media the last couple of days, ever since Sessions decided that, the federal government was going to start enforcing the drug laws. I'm not here to advocate for or against the legalization of marijuana. I'm just here because I want to set the record straight with some people who are under this misconception that state law trumps federal law, when in fact that is not the case. And we'll just get right to the heart of the matter. It's called the preemption doctrine. The preemption doctrine derives from the supremacy clause of the Constitution, which states, "The Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, anything in the constitutions of laws and state to the contrary notwithstanding." This means that any federal law can trump any conflicting state law. And it further goes on to say, let me pull up my notes because I want to get this right. When a state law directly allows something that federal law prohibits, federal law shall prevail unless federal law directly violates one of our guaranteed constitutional rights. And in coming days, you're going to be seeing debates raging across mainstream media and social media about lawsuits against the government. And here's the thing. There's no doubt in my mind that states like California, Colorado, Oregon, and any other states that have legalized marijuana is going to be suing the government. And they're even going to get some rulings in their favors, especially in courts like the Ninth Circuit of Appeals in Sacramento, because that's an extremely liberal court, and a lot of their rulings are based on feelings and not the law. It's a fact. I'm not making this up. Just about every single one of the rulings that they have made in the past year have had no basis in law. And furthermore, every single one of those cases, once they have reached the Supreme Court, has been overturned. Every single one. All of, like with DACA, Trump won. The immigration ban, Trump won. When it came to the Supreme Court, they ruled in favor of the government. And so yeah, there's going to be a lot of favorable verdicts in the lower courts, but when it gets to the Supreme Court, it's going to be game over. And here's why. One, it's set up in the Constitution that way, and to rule against the federal government in this particular case would in fact be a direct violation of our United States Constitution. Two, it's a law that was legally set in place by Congress and signed into law by the acting president at the time. There's nothing illegal about that particular law. On a side note, here is a lesson in irony, because who do we have to blame for hemp being illegal in the United States? California. Go look this up, people. You can't make it up. California. Way back in what, 1901 or whatever it was, in San Francisco, they outlawed the use of hemp because they didn't want the Chinese having carnal relations with our white women. Dumbest thing ever. It's a fact. Go look it up. And then the state of California outlawed the use of hemp, and then not too long after, the federal government did, because the state of California lobbied for it. Everybody got together, they agreed on it, they wrote it into law. That is a lesson in irony right there. But that being said, the third and final reason is we have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court at the moment, and there is no doubt in my mind that their ruling is going to be based, in fact, on law, and they're not going to have any choice but to rule for the U.S. government in the case of when it comes to enforcing the marijuana laws. The only way the states are going to get anything done at this level is repeal the law on a federal level, and it can be done. Now, I'm not going to say that you can't 100%, that there's absolutely not a snowball's chance in hell that they could win a lawsuit in the Supreme Court, because in fact, if you could find a genius that could pull it off, if he could argue, or he or she or they, if they could argue that the federal law regarding marijuana violates one of our guaranteed constitutional rights, then the law would be struck as unconstitutional and unenforceable. And that is an argument, my friends, that I would tune in to watch. I don't care what side of the fence you're on, I would tune in to watch that argument being made to the Supreme Court. I would beg them that when it gets there to please televise it. It'll be the highest rated show in American history. And I don't say any of this to be controversial or piss anybody off. I'm just pointing out facts. Real facts that anybody that has access to the internet can go find. You would be better off. There's no polite way to say this, because you know how we all think in America. Go pay off your congressman and have the law repealed. That's what lobbying is. You're basically paying off your congressman. Or that's how a lot of mainstream America feels about it. Crooked politicians have been a fact of life for as long as I can think of. It just drives me nuts. Every once in a while we'll get an honest politician and they don't last long, or they end up being going, well, the hell with it. If you can't beat them, join them. Anyway, that's where I stand on the great weed debate of 2018. And it's just going to steadily get worse, I guarantee you, as far as on social media and the mainstream news. I really expect to see a huge stink over this, and it's going to be my news feed on Facebook is already blowing up from those that advocate the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. And I'm not for or against, really, because I can count the times that I've smoked a joint in my entire life on one hand and have fingers left. We won't even get to my thumb. It wasn't for me. And I'm not saying that just because it wasn't for me that I'm against it. What I am against is the blatant lies that get passed off as truth on social media, by people who just want to get stoned. Oh, marijuana cures cancer. It don't cure shit. It doesn't cure anything. Time after time after time, it's been proven through valid research that it in fact doesn't cure anything. CBD, however you pronounce it, oil, doesn't cure anything. It alleviates the symptoms of whatever disease that you're going through at the time. And I'm all for that. And it's a lot safer than opioids and other narcotics when it comes to that. So why not? People are under the impression that, well, it was used to treat glaucoma, it cured glaucoma. No, it didn't cure glaucoma. It just eased the symptoms that went along with having glaucoma. There, as far as I know, to this day, there's still no cure for glaucoma, even though weed is an approved method of treating glaucoma. It doesn't cure it, like I said. It just alleviates the side effects and the symptoms that go along with having glaucoma. So instead of lying and saying that it cures cancer and believing everything that you see on social media, just be honest. Say, hey, I want you to legalize it because I want to get stoned. I can respect that. And would be a lot more prone to be on your side about it. But that's where I stand. Personally, I do think it should be legalized and regulated just like tobacco and alcohol. Because here's the reality: in the end, these are more deadly than marijuana will ever be. So's alcohol. I know that. But here's the thing: when I started smoking, it was perfectly acceptable to sell a pack of cigarettes to a 7-year-old kid, 35 cents a pack or whatever it was. It was 30 cents, 35 cents a pack. They didn't bat an eyelash. They didn't think twice. And I don't make any excuses for my smoking, because it's an addictive drug, just about like heroin or anything else. And I know that it's going to kill me. Another thing that gets me really upset is those that are advocating for the legalization of weed and saying that it has absolutely no side effects. Yes, it does. Don't believe me? Go over to Facebook and look at your news feed and all the people that, when you go read them, are like, man, they're a little bit mental today. Most of them are, in fact, the ones that spend most of their time partaking of God's herb. And I don't mean one or two at the end of the day or whatever. I mean, they smoke it by the pound, and you can tell because they start sliding off the rails mentally. It doesn't cause you to have a mental disorder, but if you have, and it will aggravate it and make it worse after a while, just like alcohol and any number of other drugs when used to excess. I'm not saying this to be ugly or piss anybody off or hurt the feelings. It's a fact. It's the truth. It's a documented fact. It's been proven time and time and time again. Do some extreme right-wing conservatives get carried away with it? Yes, they do. But my friends list is plumb full of people who are really nice people, but you can tell when they're also weed smokers by looking at their posts. And they don't have to say anything about weed. Just watch their mood swings and the changes in their mental conditions. So yeah, legalize it, but regulate it. Tax the hell out of it. That's where I'm at on it. There may come a day when my physical ailments get to the point where I may need to light one up myself. I don't know. This is coming from a guy that was prescribed slow-release morphine pretty well for life, and after a year and a half, flushed it down the toilet and ain't took nothing since, because I'd rather deal with the pain than the crap that the medication was causing. And to this day, I don't take 99% of the medicine that they prescribe to me. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I just know that most of the time I end up feeling better without it. There's a lot of comedians that make a lot of jokes about the side effects that medication causes, and even though I laugh at it, I also realize that it's true. All one has to do is turn into any CBS, NBC, ABC, whatever, and watch a drug commercial come on, and it's a 2-minute commercial about the benefits and 5 minutes of the side effects. By the time we get through listing all the side effects, it's like, dude, I just soon have the disease. Skip if that's what I got to put up with to feel better. I don't want it. I am monitoring the comments here on Twitter, and I am monitoring the comments on YouTube, because I'm streaming to both sites at the same time. By all means, feel free to join in. I will mention that we did the Live in 5 last night. That will be the last episode of Live in 5 in that format. We're going to work on it, and if we can figure out a way to make it more exciting and more entertaining and still help artists, then we'll do it, and if not, then that will be the last one. Anyway, this is my talent here at Red Barn Productions. Love me or hate me, y'all have a wonderful time, and if you're living in a state to where it's legal to light one up, by all means do so. It's the weekend. Go have a good time. Just have a great weekend. I will say that if you comment on either one of the videos, please be civilized, because because we have reached the point where when we talk about living in a civilized society, that is an oxymoron. We are more uncivilized than ever towards each other, and I, for one, am advocating that we make a change in that. So I'll just be polite, be educated, be civilized. First and foremost, if you're uncivilized with me, I will be uncivilized with you, and that's just how it works in the real world. I'm not saying anything to be controversial or hateful or ugly or knock anybody. I am sure that YouTube will not monetize the video because they'll say it's inappropriate for most audiences. Hey, it is what it is. That's okay. It's my tally. Y'all have a good weekend.